talking about the strong southeasterly wind in the mother city, in other words, Cape Town. Cape Town is a very big city and is the second capital city of South Africa. You can do more research about Cape Town if you want to know more. So today, right now, I live in Cape Town and there is actually a strong southeasterly wind, and I want to talk about the southeasterly wind. It's also known as a Cape Doctor. So, as you can see Newlands. These are the suburbs of Cape Town, and there's Table Mountain. And you can see Clifton, which is the other side of Cape Town, which is the City Bowl. So now, you can see that southeasterly winds, they will blow extremely high, like really strong. Hello everyone, today we'll be talking about the southeasterly wind, the very strong southeasterly wind that's blowing really strong in Cape Town right now because I live in Cape Town. I would like to talk about the southeasterly wind. In other words, it is also known as a Cape Doctor. It's very strong, and as you can see in this diagram, you can see the strong southeasterly wind which blows. You can see Table Mountain. Here's Newlands. Here's the airport. Here's Clifton. If you know about Cape Town is a very nice city, and it's the second capital city of South Africa. You can do more research about Cape Town if you don't know about Cape Town. So as you can see in this diagram, a Cape Doctor is blowing really strong, and it's actually blowing in moisture. So this mystery of the Cape Doctor, why do they actually call it the Cape Doctor? There are a lot of theories in Cape Town about this wind, and it's very mysterious, and I want to talk about it to you right now. This wind, it is actually it's actually a very disturbing wind. It's very strong, and I think you might be hearing it in the background right now. This wind, it blows a lot of moisture. So I don't know if you guys know about Fallsbaai and Muizenberg and those beaches in Cape Town. This diagram is not showing it. It's just showing the Cape Town airport and Newlands and the southern suburbs and the City Bowl. So the ocean is very cold in Cape Town, but if it's summer, which is when the southeasterly wind blows, it is a little warm and not that cold, but it's also a little mild also. So this wind will blow humid air and very strong, and is going to start to form clouds around Table Mountain. And these clouds are not just any ordinary clouds. This cloud is actually known as the tablecloth, and it's actually a fog cloud or parallel cloud. So the air will sink and sink as the wind blows, which will make a very nice Cape Doctor effect, the clouds, and that tablecloth will keep driving in. So I've got videos about the tablecloth, but before we talk about that, we will be talking about why they call it the Cape Doctor. So the reason why they call the southeasterly wind the Cape Doctor is because it is very strong, so strong that it is known for blowing all the pollution and dust and pollen and humidity away from Cape Town. That is the reason why they call it the Cape Doctor. So it clears the air in Cape Town. Now this Cape Doctor, do you guys know what causes this Cape Doctor? I will show you right now. But before we go to what causes the Cape Doctor, there is also a berg wind that happens before and after a cold front. So now, this berg wind, there is a low pressure system and a high pressure system, and due to this, there is very steep air. The steep air shaft forces in winds to blow very strong, and the dry air during a high pressure system, it can actually be here when a cold front's down here. And it's not only by this area of the escarpment of South Africa, but it's also in the Western Cape, and it blows before a cold front reaches. So when the cold front reaches the South Africa and only the western part of South Africa, the berg winds will move here, and it's going to blow very warm air, and it is a very, very epic, hectic wind. It is not just an ordinary wind, it's a wind that actually blows very, very warm air, and it can lead to heat wave conditions. Here is a different way of saying it. And you can see that the cold front is far inwards here, still in the Atlantic Ocean, traveling to the Western Cape, and this is what will happen before the cold front. Berg winds, you see. So here's the low pressure system, and the high pressure system is over here, but you can't see it unless I zoom in a little more, but I can't. So now you can see the berg winds, you can see the air force, you can see the steep air, and now it's blowing in very dry, hot, dry weather, and it's like it causes lots of heat waves in the Western Cape, but it's only for a short period, because then a cold front hits and causes heavy rainfall, damaging winds, and very, very cold weather. And this is mostly in the winter. So if you see berg winds before a cold front, it means a cold front will bring lots of significant rains and stormy conditions. But let's not get distracted, and let's talk about the southeaster wind. So as I told you, the southeaster wind, very strong wind, and blows lots of moisture from the warm waters. And this normally happens during the summer. And actually the southeaster is the opposite of the northwester, or also the opposite of a berg wind. So the high pressure, instead of the high pressure being in the escarpment of South Africa, the high pressure system is... Oh, I did something wrong, guys. Sorry. As I was saying, the high pressure system is here and the low pressure system is here. The same air force, just in a different direction, the southeaster. So now you can see the warm waters, and here's the cold waters. So when the water is cold up here, it's really cold here in the city bowl during southeasters, but it's quite warm down here. Why? The humidity is very, very high, and the fog clouds are a lot in this area. The dew point is also quite high, which will make the winds blow in humid air, and the instability won't be as high, but the instability will still be around there. So now, as you can see, to blow moist air into Cape Town, and you see Table Mountain will be around this area. So as it blows moist air, which is the southeaster, it will condense here, because here is cold. Remember the cold waters. It will condense. It needs cold air to condense. Yes, it needs warmth to rise, but it needs cold air to condense. So this is where the cold air would be, and it will condense to form clouds. And the air would sink down at this area, which is ahead of the city bowl, where waterfront and sea point is. So that's where it would sink, and you would see the nice spectacular tablecloth by Table Mountain. Not only does the southeaster transport lots of moisture to the city bowl, but also it transports moisture into Langebaan and other areas, and transports moisture in other areas of South Africa. So the southeaster wind is very, very, very helpful, because it transports moisture and forms rainfall in other areas. Here it just gets quite humid, and it just evaporates and travels, and the wind travels. So if the wind travels further, it will just blow all that moisture, and where the low pressure system is, it will form some rain there, but it doesn't always happen. So if the moisture is not enough, which is on summer days and the wind is pretty strong, then it will just be dry, and the next day will be very, very clear. Southeasters are associated with fair weather, which often happens in the summer, but southeasters can also happen in the spring and in autumn. So don't forget that southeasters, they happen most often in summer. So now what people get confused about for southeaster winds and Cape winds is because southeasters, they are always wondering why it's so strong, why it's so irritating, why it has such weird names, and why does it form this tablecloth. So there is the Cape Point, and as I showed you in the earlier in the video, Table Mountain is a very very low area, so winds can obviously just blow over the mountain because it's the mountain is not that high as other mountains. So because of that, it forms tablecloths. So as the air condenses in this area of the City Bowl and Table Mountain, it will condense and to sink downwards into this area, which is outside of the City Bowl, which will form a tablecloth. So now I will show you a video of the tablecloth forming due to this. So as you can see, this is what a tablecloth looks like. So this tablecloth, you can see the sinking air into the city, the sinking air. As the air rises behind the mountain, it will sink downwards in front of the mountain, and it will cause like very strong winds. If this mountain was tall enough, there will be no sign of clouds, but at behind the mountain there will be lots of clouds forming. So the reason why this Table Mountain is really small is because nobody really knows. So as you can see, this cloud, you can see the blue skies. It will be very the weather will be very fair, and it will be partly cloudy. It will be fair weather. It will be very nice and pleasant. So don't let the southeaster wind make you be discouraged about Cape Town, because the southeaster wind does not always affect people, because Cape Townians are often used to the southeaster wind. So take care everybody. This is all I have about the southeaster wind, and I'll see you in the next video.